Welcome back to my channel. It's certainly been a while, feels like an eternity almost. The truth is, this past 5 weeks has been super hard, really hard for me. And I was just kind of clinging on and waiting to come out of the haze of it all. As you can see, the garden is kind of falling apart right now. It's hanging on, but it's a wild mess, and it's a pretty clear representation of the disasters that were awaiting me at the end of this summer. The summer started off wonderfully. The plants were blooming, the sun was shining, and we even went to travel a bit and visited the South where I grew up. I was having an amazing time, taking my kids around to see waterfalls and lakes and all of the beauty that lies hidden in the Ozark Mountains. One day we drove for an hour to this tucked away natural water slide. We spent the entire afternoon flying down it and climbing back up the hill, and it will always be one of my favorite memories with my babies. Then we got sick, and I think you know what I'm talking about because a lot of people got sick in July. But to make matters worse, my beloved grandfather, Papa, passed away the day that I fell ill. And at this point, the symptoms of sickness and of grief sort of all melded together. I couldn't travel to be there for his last moments because I had to wait. Recovery, and things just sort of all fell apart. The figs piled up on the ground, the tomatoes were rotting on the vine, the weeds and pests just added to this dystopian landscape that fully reflected the way that I felt. Later, the tides are starting to turn. After weeks of feeling like I would never truly get better again, I feel like the fog is finally lifting. So much prayer has gone into these past 6 weeks. I truly felt the power of the verse in the book of Matthew that basically says, you're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there's more room for God. I was definitely at the end of my rope, and at times I felt like I was barely clinging on. Hindsight, I can see that there is strength to be taken from this moment and from this time. We got through it. It was traumatic, but hey, that's why I make these videos. This is my diary. It's the therapy that I can't afford. So now that I'm on the mend, we have a lot of work to do outside, and it is hot this week. grape had grown into the garden, and the tendrils grew around the base of this potato plant. And when I went to pull it up, there was potatoes in there. Resetting the vegetable garden for fall. It is such a big mess right now. These sun gold tomatoes have taken over, and the celery is just a huge extravaganza, and the cucumbers are at the end of their lifespan. But I think I'll save that all for the next video. I'd love to share with you what we're planting for the hopefully fast approaching cooler days. So for now, I guess that about wraps it up. Thank you for letting me vent and for sharing this morning with me. I wish you all a happy week, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.